The Yellowstone final warning shocked the whole world. A massive boom shakes the entire planet and Naples vanishes from the face of the earth. The atmosphere in Europe is poisoned with sulfur. The traffic has come to a permanent standstill. The streets of San Francisco and Los Angeles are covered with volcanic ash drifts. The west coast of the United States has become a wasteland. This is not the result of a nuclear explosion, nor has the Third World War begun, nor has an asteroid struck the Earth. This will be the fate of the world if the well-known supervolcano, the Yellowstone caldera, erupts. Yellowstone Park has long been a popular tourist destination, but there have been numerous controversies surrounding it, owing to the presence of a supermassive volcano beneath the park. Is the supervolcano about to erupt? How severe will the consequences be? Will the planet be able to endure it? Will it annihilate the entire human race? I'll answer these questions about Yellowstone supervolcano in this video. Yellowstone National Park is one of the most stunning and unique places on the planet. However, Wyoming's magnificent park environment is also the site of an imminent calamity. Such a calamity has never occurred in human history. According to scientists, it is currently dormant, but as they describe it, in general, Yellowstone National Park has been since 1872 and is the world's oldest national park, covering an area of 8,987 square kilometers. Just beneath this park lies one of the most active hotspots on the planet. This hotspot transports molten rock and heat from far beneath the Earth's surface to the surface. Is Yellowstone going to erupt? Yes, it will at some point. It is unclear when this will happen. A 5-mile deep reservoir of molten lava lies beneath Yellowstone National Park. A massive rushing mass of molten rock erupting from almost 100 miles underground feeds this reservoir. The possibility of a catastrophic super eruption draws a lot of attention to Yellowstone, and this super eruption can be thousands of times larger and deadlier than any eruption we know. Geologists have discovered evidence of at least 47 super eruptions throughout Earth's history. The most recent eruption happened roughly 26,000 years ago in New Zealand's Lake Taupo. The most dramatic eruption was Toba's 74,000-year-old massive eruption induced by shifting tectonic plates. It resulted in a catastrophic 6 to 10-year worldwide winter that nearly wiped out the newly growing human population. Yellowstone has been closely monitored and tracked for several years. There have been no reports of long-period earthquakes that are often connected with magma flows that sometimes precede eruptions. Long-period occurrences do not indicate that Yellowstone is about to erupt. Long-period earthquakes are common in other volcanoes around the world, including California volcanoes that haven't erupted in thousands of years. The most massive earthquake in the history of Yellowstone occurred in 1959 at Hebgen Lake, northwest of Yellowstone, with a magnitude of 7.3 volcanic explosive index, uprooting a 25-mile-long and 40-foot-tall fissure. It was caused by the Earth's crust expanding. In the worst-case scenario, if the supervolcano beneath Yellowstone Park erupts, the warning signals will be even more intense. The park will first experience extreme seismic activity. Before an eruption may occur, earthquakes must compress the rocks above the magma, which could take weeks, months, or years. The greatest super eruption in Yellowstone's history occurred 2.1 million years ago, erupting 2,450 cubic kilometers of debris. Most of Yellowstone's eruptions were less than volcanic explosive index 8 super eruptions, making it difficult to identify it as a supervolcano. The Yellowstone caldera is 631,000 years old and resulted from one of the last super eruptions at Yellowstone Lava Creek. The eruption blasted enough material to form a 34 by 50 mile depression in the ground. The 6 beneath Yellowstone is enormous enough to fill the Grand Canyon 11 times over, and it takes weeks or months to empty. The lava flows from the eruption will be restricted to an area about 40 kilometers from the park. Only approximately a third of the stuff would be released into the atmosphere. The explosion will be so powerful that it will send massive amounts of ash thousands of miles into the stratosphere across the United States, creating an umbrella cloud that will spread in all directions. The greatest threat is not the volcanic supereruption, but the aftermath of this eruption. This volcanic ash is the largest source of damage that can occur. It is a combination of splintered rock and glass, and it has the potential to unleash a massive disaster with global consequences. Except for the massive explosion at the beginning, those who live in Yellowstone or nearby are unlikely to be aware of the volcano ready to erupt. Those who live far away from Yellowstone will not be affected by the eruption, but by its aftermath. This massive eruption might bury the northern Rocky Mountains in ash and destroy large areas of Wyoming, Idaho, Colorado, Montana, and Utah. The Midwest would get a few inches of ash, and the coast could get even less. The precise distribution is dependent on the time of year and weather conditions at the time of the eruption. This massive volume of volcanic ash has the potential to destroy a lot of things: kill people, damage buildings, harm farmlands, suffocate crops and plants, shut down power plants, block roads and highways, cause respiratory disorders, clog sewer lines, and even hamper air traffic across North America. A volcanic supereruption will have far-reaching consequences for global weather and climate. There will be aftermaths like falling ash and impacts that could linger for years or decades. Because these particles have a brief lifetime in the atmosphere, the impacts are very temporary but can be severe. Falling ash is not the same as soft ash from burning wood. Under a microscope, falling ash is highly sharp and resembles glass particles. When you breathe it in, the ash fragments your lungs and forms cement in your body. It's lethal to both humans and animals who breathe it. Massive amounts of volcanic gas such as sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide are emitted into the atmosphere. The most significant impacts are caused by the conversion of sulfur dioxide to sulfuric acid, which quickly condenses in the stratosphere to produce fine sulfate aerosols and reflect the sun's rays into the atmosphere. This reflection cools the troposphere, resulting in global cooling. It will cause the Earth's temperature and energy levels to fall below normal. Volcanic carbon dioxide can potentially contribute to global warming. Mount Tambora on the Indonesian island of Sumbawa is known to have experienced the world's most massive volcanic eruption, which cooled the Earth enough to harm crops across the globe. After the volcanic supereruption, falling ash, lack of sunlight, cooler temperatures, foraging, and struggling to survive will become the new normal. The lack of sun rays will affect the number of photosynthetic processes that plants need to generate energy. Herbivore animals will starve to death, and the loss of animals will contribute to the depletion of food resources. After all of this, will humanity survive this super-eruptive event? Humanity will indeed survive. Although a Yellowstone eruption will not wipe off the whole human population, the after effects will be very unpleasant. The volcano erupted many times millions of years ago, yet it did not wipe off the human race. The Earth is still teeming with life, and the human population has grown significantly since the eruptions. There will be casualties, people will die, but not even half of the world's population. Because there are no signals of an eruption on the horizon, the chances of a supervolcano erupting are extremely low. Of course, earthquakes will continue to shake Yellowstone and magma will rise and fall, but it is still nothing out of the ordinary. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the Yellowstone volcano's behavior has been consistent for the past 140 years, and based on the 3 prior eruptions, the percentage of volcanic supereruption in Yellowstone is 0.00014%. Volcanoes eventually die out. The heat from below and the cold from the surface both affect the magma chambers. If the temperature of the heat originating from below dips, the magma chambers may freeze over and become granite rock. As Lowenstern stated, the Earth will experience volcanic supereruptions in the future, but the chances of them occurring in Yellowstone are nearly non-existent. So, till then, take in the breathtaking scenery and hydrothermal elements of Yellowstone National Park. And that brings us to the end of this video. Let us know in the comments section if you think humanity should be bothered about the Yellowstone erupting or not. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and click on that notification bell to get notified when we post a new video.